Whoa, wait, hang on a second. Red alert. Before I was about to end it. Holy shit.
Did you see that chat? You saw it too.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. In chat, we've got this chat is moving at the speed of the kill stream chat right now. Maybe me popping my head in will help, says Radio Sheman. Hey, here's an idea. Here's something that would help Radio Sheman. Do a show. I dare you. I dare you to do a show. It's never going to happen. Tom Gully destroyed Comedy Sheman.
Oh, he fucking
destroyed him. Destroyed him. And fucking Comedy Sheman finally got the nerve to put out a video yesterday. And it's a video he recorded back in September. I saw it back in September. He's talking about old shit on there. It's this terrible Ethan Ralph impression. I dare you. Go. The reason nobody's chatting right now is because they have a great respect for Tom Gully.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he doesn't want none of this. He doesn't want none of this smoke.
I don't know what he's talking about, by the way. The chat's moving like it always does. He's been here for 2 seconds. He's like, oh, he didn't move for half a second. Got him. You're trying to
only smoke Shaman.
Also, by the way, making fun of Ethan Ralph's chat while you're trying so desperately to get noticed and seen and on the kill stream. Very pathetic.
Yeah,
we'll wait. I'm gonna hold my breath. And we'll see when Comedy Sheman finally goes live again. You ready?
No, well, no more pod awful, I guess.
The guy who writes unsolicited notes to everyone who does a show and gives his impressions of, well, here's what you ought to be doing, and I liked what you did here, blah, 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 can't do a fucking show himself. That's pathetic.
He started sending me messages recently.
He did?
Yeah.
I've spoken to him one time in my life. We all saw how well that went for him.
Bumped into him.
He's still in love with a trans person who he now says is a pedophile. He's in love with this woman. And also he's claiming to have a girlfriend. It's another catfish, by the way, but he's claiming to have a new girlfriend, but he's still in love with feds. You think we're not going to tell your girlfriend about feds and how much you're still in love with who you say is a pedophile? Like, it's over. Your new relationship is over. We will be doing that.
You're still going to be my baby girl.
Apologized to She-Man for the things that I am sorry for. And he is just too stupid. He's too stupid to get it. She-Man will never do a show again. I want him to. This is not my desire. I want him to do a show again. It'll never happen again. Your Ethan Ralph impression is terrible. Your overlays are terrible. Des did a terrible job on your shitty retard. He thinks overlays are going to save his show. Overlays are from 2016. Nobody uses overlays unless they're like a gamer on Twitch anymore. Are you retarded? Your fucking whatever fucking videos or overlays or graphics you have people making for you right now, he's paying people to make shit for him, and it's all garbage. It's all the only people he can even pay to do it are people who have no clue what they're doing, and he thinks that this is going to change everything. By the way, you should know I came up with a great new marketing thing for you. You were the Comedy She-Man. Now you're the Radio She-Man. Why not call yourself the Comedy Junkie or the Radio Junkie? Isn't that like a way better name?
It is, yeah.
Because, you know, you're like such a junkie for radio and also meth.
Well, he could be the Kratom She-Man.
Anyway. All right. See you, Christian Slater. Thanks, man. So Christian Slater's here. I can fix her, he says in chat room. Almost a joke, almost funny. Okay. Well, it's very like, who is going to want to tune in to Radio She-Man? Isn't it a little bit telling that a guy doing a comedy show had to remove the word comedy from his name? By the way, spoiler alert, give it like 4 more months, you're going to have to remove radio from your name too. You'll also never be on that. And even if you were, no one would hear it. It's not fucking 1952. No one gives a shit about radio. Sorry, Tom, but no one ever gave
Tom
a shit
gave up
about
on
radio.
I'm
That's
out
true.
of the radio business.
That's true. Tom
He saw the
quit.
writing on the wall.
Yeah, because you have to see it on the wall. If they put it over the airwaves, you'd never fucking hear it. So
Well,
the radio shit. What did you say to? What was the line you said to Sheman, Tom? Where about him being on the radio or whatever?
he was trying to tell me what to do with my show, and I'm like, yes. Well, so you've never done radio. You can't get a job radio, broadcasting, and you never will. Yes, I'd love to hear your opinion.
I say go with radio junkie or comedy junkie. That's way better. It's amazing to me that Tom Gully had to deal with Sheman in the exact same way I did, where it's like, this is a dude who has no ability, no history, no wisdom, and no talent. He's never done anything. When the first time he contacted me, he had never even streamed before. A thing that like children do, that like a black guy at a Wendy's does. Where he's just like, yeah, check it out, I'm at Wendy's. That shit's more entertaining than the streams he finally ended up doing, but he hadn't even done one yet. And this dude said he knew it all. He knew exactly how to do a show and make it the best show ever. And now he's stopped doing a show. He hasn't done a show in like 5-6 months. How long has it been?
I think it's been 6 months.
It's been like for half a year, he hasn't done a show because it turns out his girlfriend had a penis. Like, that should be your show. Like, how is that not? I gave you fucking 6 months of content and you turned it into 6 months of crying. It's pathetic. And then he keeps sending me Sheman, and I'm going to fucking do this now because you've given me the opportunity that, you don't do any shows. I can't talk about you. You're here in chat. I can talk. Sheman does this gayest thing on earth, right? So he's a gay guy. He's a gay guy, and that's what this past 6 months has really been. It's been an eternal meltdown over finding out that he's LGBTQ at 30 years old. He doesn't know how to handle it. So every other day he tries to forgive me, then he wants to kill me, then he decides to get me off his mind, and then the cycle repeats. And the day that the cycle repeats and he starts thinking about me again, he's got to message me, but he keeps me blocked any other time. So he sends me these paragraphs, these messages of text. I don't even see them in time to respond to them. And then he blocks me again before I can. He sends me walls of text that I cannot respond to. And it's shit that like only he remembers. I don't even know what he's fucking talking about half the time. It's so insane. He's been doing it since November now. I've got messages all the way back to November. He claims I tried to ruin, it was life ruination that he believed that a girl had a penis. That ruined his life. It's like, you're not cut out for this, man. You can't go online anymore. But again, that's something that your son should be putting in the fireplace at the end of your days. But unfortunately, it's out there. Everybody knows. Get over it. You got tricked. Laugh it off. There is no goon in the history of Pod Awful who has taken it worse than Comedy Sheman. Wow. One of the simplest pranks of all time. It's nothing. It shouldn't have affected you at all. And you're in a constant downward spiral over it. I keep getting all these messages from him. Finally, one day he's messaging. Oh, here's the thing. I blocked him. I finally said, okay, I don't want to get these messages from him anymore where I don't get to reply. So I just blocked him. I unblock him for 1 minute, basically. I went on there and I unblocked him just to see what would happen. 2 minutes later, he sent me a message. He had been sitting there hovering over my name for days, waiting to send me shit. So I finally got to reply to him in some of this stuff. And then what I kept doing, and now he's taking this as a win. He just forgot that he's been blocking me for 4 months doing this to me. And so I blocked him. I sent him a message and then blocked him so he couldn't respond. just doing the same thing back, being an asshole, because I know it's pissing him off. Well, he got so pissed off, he goes to people and said, look, I made him block me. I must have really gotten under his skin. It's like, idiot, you could have said anything, I was going to block you. It didn't matter what you said. I'm doing what you did. He's so stupid. He has such a chance. Look at Tom Gully. Tom Gully, a guy who we, Tom, you had a meltdown a little bit over Pod Awful. We were at each other's throats for quite some time. Everything's fine now. You got over it. Nobody cares. Like, there's no life ruination. It's all just silly nonsense. And somehow Tom can figure it out. And Tom is an old man. Like, the internet is still new to him. He calls it a woozad or a doodad.
No, I was on the internet I was like 94.
You weren't in the alt groups and the chats.
Yes, I was.
The IRC.
I was in a ton of alt groups and news groups and use groups all of that. Yeah, I've been interneting for quite a while. He
walked Bob Dylan on stage.
Well, he thinks probably my little interaction with him is a win for him. I got him to humiliate me.
Yeah. Should I read a little bit of the messages just back? I'll just start from the end, like toward the end here, because it doesn't matter.
Please.
He said, okay, so I had blocked him. I unblock him for 2 minutes. Boom! It's message time. And again, it had been 24 hours of him being blocked, and somehow he's ready to go. He says, you need to really chew on what I said last night, which I don't even remember what he said. It's actually good advice, not even being vindictive. And to be honest, I think this is a dude who is addicted to meth, telling me that he's got good advice. And like, he's sober, supposedly. Although if you're smoking weed, you aren't sober. If you had one drink, you're not sober. You sure you're sober? You sure you've done nothing? You sure you can say that? I've been sober my whole life. And this dude's got good advice for me. He says, and to be honest, I think you're a better podcaster now to where you could go back to the old shock jock style you used to do and be more successful. What am I doing now different than before? I'll tell you what he thinks the difference is. The difference is before, I didn't convince him he had a girl dick girlfriend. That's it. That's the entire difference. But like, I hate that term shock jock. Hello? I hate that term shock jock. But if that's what you want to call this, then I'm still doing. It's not different now. The only difference now is you don't like it now. You liked it back before you knew you were getting pranked. It's a prank. Don't fall for the prank again. This is a prank that I would pull on anyone in the Discord, by the way. If someone is dumb enough to believe they're in a relationship with a henchman, and by the way, a henchman, and we can convince them that they're getting girl dicked, I'm going to do that. It's funny. I would do that to real life friends. Okay? That's funny. You think I'm not dying to make Tom fall in love with some girl dick? Come on. So
yeah. Well, and by the way, past the elevator question, and you guys evolved it into a million things. And again, I'm an old man.
True.
Yet he could not escape the simple, absolutely simple fundament of that particular prank.
True. Tom Gully passed the elevator check. We asked him, we gave him the chance, we set him up to say that his perfect woman has a cock, and he never said it. Comedy Sheman said it 5 million times. If you asked him the question today, he would say his perfect woman has a cock. And by the way, she does, because her name is Feds. So he says to me, not this sadistic horse shit you do now. Like, sadistic? It's sadistic. I just did a whole episode about the Grinch. Oh my gosh, what a sadist I am.
Well, and he's also the most biggest drama queen on earth, you know.
He says, that's all I have to say. Think about it. I said, Christ, get a life. He said, Christ, get a moral backbone. I said, the moral meth head over here. Jeez. He says, back to the cheap shots when I'm making real points. This is a thing, too. He thinks that he gets to just dismiss stuff. That's a real point. Me saying you are a meth head and thus I have no reason to listen to your advice is the realest point that's ever been reeled. Okay? I don't take advice from junkies. It's as simple as
morality. As far as morality is concerned, I'm not overly moralistic, but I do know a lot of moral people would say you being in love, Shaman, with a girl with a dick is not particularly moral.
Shaman's not moral at all, by the way, because he has done and said horrific things. Actual life-ruining things. He threatened my family. He threatened to kill my family. Okay? Wow. And I still forgave him. That's the sadist that I am. So I said the moral method over here. Geez. He says, back to the cheap shots when I'm making real points, giving you kosher life advice. Oy vey! You've got a chance to turn this shit around. You never tried to help me when I needed. It's not my job! By the way, I did nothing but help Comedy. Comedy Shaman would be nothing without me. Period. He would have 2 guys watching him, and that's if he was still doing a stream by now. He probably would have been made to cry by someone way fucking meaner than me, because he cried on his first 12 live streams, and he would have given up by now. I gave him the entire audience he had, and it is not my job to help anyone. That's not what I do. I'm not Mr. Help. I'm Mr. Shock Jock. So he says,
have you ever cried once on?
Yes.
I've been on the air for a long.
Yes.
Oh, I've never cried on the air.
Yes, you have. We made you cry, Tom.
No, I would never cry. On the air.
Yeah. I'm not making fun of him for crying on the air. I'm saying that the people who were watching him before Pod Awful were making him cry. Pod Awful didn't make him cry on air. It's not what we want. There's no part of me that wants him to, number one, be a meth head, and number two, be so hurt he's crying. I literally thought he would laugh at the catfish. I know that might be insane, but I legitimately thought it. Anyway, he says, you never tried to help me when I needed it. I'm giving you the grace you never gave me. I gave him tons of advice, too, behind the scenes. He says, you need help, dude. I said, not taking advice from a dude who catfished himself twice in a row, does drugs, and can't get his show together. He says, back to the cheap shots. Not cheap. Incredibly expensive shots, those are. They are some of the highest price shots. We couldn't do these shots without the Pizza Fund. Thank you, Pizza Funders, for paying for the types of shots I'm having to take here. Because these are all real points. You do drugs. You catfished yourself twice. I told you were being catfished, and you still did it because Jesse's always lying and wrong, right? Right?
I even called you, me, the guy that met you in real life. I called you the day out.
Dirk is one of the people who catfished you, and he called you and warned you, gave you 9 hours notice that you're about to catfish yourself, and you still did it. At a certain point, it's on you. Okay? There are bad actors in the world. They're scam artists. You know, if you go and you play the shell game and you lose once, that's on the scam artist because they made it convincing. You thought you could win. You lose a second time, it's starting to get a little murky. You sit there and you watch them win over and over again and never lose. And also you start to notice that the other people are playing are all working with the shell game guy. And they all happen to be gypsies at the same time. Everyone watching. You're the only person watching the shell game that isn't a gypsy. Now it's on you. Now you are. It's not the Romani peoples who are in trouble anymore, okay? The itinerant people of Europe are no longer the people who are to blame. It's on you Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you fool me once, you can't get fooled again. George Bush. So
He caught the baby. The gypsy just threw it.
right, exactly. So I said, no, he says, back to the cheap shots has nothing to do with the point I'm making. Don't care. I don't care. You could make 1,000 great points and none of them will matter coming out of your Ditalini teeth. Okay?
Tortellini teeth.
It is not your place to give advice. Certainly not morally, even more so not about how to do a show to me.
Oh my God.
It's insane. I mean,
Look at his response real quick, Jesse.
I can't. Let me finish this and then you read me the response, Dirk. Keep it
God.
keep it in front of you. So,
All right.
so he says, you're putting your family into a disgusting situation with no regard for their well-being. What are you implying there? Because that sounds a lot like what you're saying is if I keep making fun of you, you're going to kill my family, and that's my fault. See, I'm not the gypsy in this scenario, okay? That's not what, I don't know what maybe I'm misreading that sentence. I don't know. I literally cannot figure another way to take that sentence. And the fact that I've allowed you to imply threaten my family and overtly threaten my family time and time again, the fact that I don't just come and beat the fucking bloody snot out of your head is a kindness that you don't deserve. Because I could do that. You're nothing. All right. I need you to understand. I've seen you in real life. You don't know that. But I have seen Clay Combs, IRL. He's 5'6". He's the same height as Lisa. She's 4'11". So he's 4'11,
Yeah.
I guess. So 4'10". She's a midget.
No,
She's a
4'11",
midget.
yeah.
They're basically the same height. This dude couldn't do shit. No one's afraid of him. No one would ever be afraid of him. This dude has threatened my family multiple times. A normal man goes and beats up a guy who says your family is being put into peril. That's a normal. I'm not a normal guy. You're very lucky that I'm not a normal guy and that I think it's actually funnier to be your friend. And so I'm willing to still do that. That's literally it. That is how I operate. What is the funniest fucking thing? I'm going to go with that. But a normal guy would be like, did this bitch just threaten my family again? Even if I'm wrong, even if I'm misreading it. If a normal guy misread that, you wouldn't have Ditalini teeth anymore. You'd be cooking them in a big pot of pasta water, okay? So he says I'm
You
putting
gotta
my...
let Dirk read.
I'm going to let him read it. I'm going to finish the fucking thing first.
All right.
I don't care. If he's responding in real time, I want to know after I finish this.
Okay, fair enough.
So he says I'm putting my and again, is there another way to read that? Am I crazy? You're putting your
No.
family into a disgusting situation with no regard for their well-being. We were not talking about my family before that. So how am I supposed to take that? I said any point you make is a bad one because you have no wisdom, experience, moral high ground, or talent. Now, I've never said those words directly, but that has been the thrust of what I've been trying to teach Sheman in a friendly way as a big brother type character since the very beginning of all of this. After he sent me insane messages and saying he knows how to do a show and he had never done one before, these were my thoughts. You don't know anything. You don't have any experience. You can't. You could be preternaturally talented at this. You're not. But let's say you could have been, right? That you still aren't in a place to have thoughts and ideas where you think like you know better. You don't. And it's been proven over and over again, you don't know better. How many times I take over his show entirely? In fact, there's no good,
Every time.
There's no good episodes of a show that I don't take over entirely. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing. I had him as a co-host on my show to teach him this lesson. He learned nothing. He's just like Mersh. He's just like Santa Cruz Joker. He's just like Mr. Burgers. They're goons because they cannot learn the lesson.
Well, that 2-bit moronic, worth nothing, insignificant, irrelevant piece of shit has an open invitation to be on my show anytime he wants.
He's got an open invitation to be on this. He could come in here right now. You want to be on the show? Come in. You want to do it? You want to do the big confrontation? Let's fucking do it.
Let's rock.
Let's effing
Hell
go.
yeah.
Let's goo. So
He doesn't have the balls.
Of course he doesn't have the balls. He doesn't have the balls to do his own show by himself. So he says to me, I'm sober, saving money, working hard, and in a happy relationship. If you were half as talented as me, you wouldn't have failed as a stand-up, a thing I've never been, just like Red Bar, a thing he cannot stop thinking about. You don't have the luxury of putting your own self-image first like he did. God, stop having thoughts
Where
about other
does he
men.
get the idea that he has talent of any kind? What possible forensic evidence
Tom.
of any kind, empirical? He doesn't. You don't.
He can throw a baseball, Tom. Can you throw a baseball?
Hang on. He has delusions of grandeur. That's normal for lol cows. The point is he has thoughts about other men where he has decided he's decided fan fictions in his head about people are just true because he's sitting there talking to himself all day about all these men on the internet. He talks to himself in the mirror about it. He probably is doing Willy Wonka voice to himself in the mirror, doing it. He says, you have a family. Take another cheap shot and deflect. I know you won't answer the points I'm making. I said, so he said, I'm sober, saving money, working hard, and in a happy relationship. I replied, okay, I've been sober my whole life. Been making money for a decade, working harder at my craft, and am a married man with kids. You have no advice you can give me. This is the lesson you never learned after your first ego-driven, insane messages. I thought spanking you a little would wake you up. It didn't. You'll never learn. You are an eternal goon. The Goon Alarm. 6 million!
Beautiful.
Dude.
All right, what did he say, Dirk?
All right. He said typical groomer talking points.
You're an adult man. You cannot be groomed, you stupid retard. Okay, are we done? There. So, this is a real thing. This is real comedy Sheman, an adult man who is referring to something that happened when he was an adult, a 30-year-old adult, believes he's been groomed. The end. Show over. All right. Is he coming in? Is he going to show up? No, of course not. I'll give you 30 seconds, Sheman. We'll give you 30 seconds. Give yourself the courage, go talk to yourself in the mirror. Jump in, podawful.com/cult. You know how to get to the Discord. Join the call-in channel, and we can do this right now, or I can end the fucking show. Okay? Because I was supposed to end it fucking 30 minutes ago.
And then I said, let me tell you about camel spiders.
Yeah.
That's how we got here.
Yep. This should have been tomorrow's episode. To be
I
honest.
heard the call.
Um,
Come on, Shaman. Come on, Sheman. Get all that scary talent and bring it in here and show us all what it's all about.
Shaman
Maybe he's afraid of going after both of you, Tom and Jesse.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll tie my Tom behind my back if that's what.
I'll leave if he shows up.
Yeah, I'll shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else can shut up. That's a totally fair point, actually.
That's fair.
I will make everybody else leave. And it can just be you and me. I don't need any backup. Trust me. This idea, he thinks he's going to come back and he's going to get it. He's going to go at me and win. And it's like, this already happened. For a year, we fucked with you straight to your face. You did nothing. You did nothing but fall for it. Like shit that no person would fall for. Rufio wouldn't fall for some of the things we pulled off on you.
We showed you the things that Rufio fell for, and then you still fell for them.
And he liked those things. Rufio, we made Rufio believe he was talking to a necromancer who brought his 2 girlfriends back to life, and he still wouldn't have fallen for feds. Trust me.
Definitely not Lisa.
Well, certainly not Lisa, but that's for other reasons.
Well,
The second there was any amount of impropriety on whether or not a penis may be involved, Rufio would be out. Trust me. There's no wiggle room on that one. All right, he ain't coming. This is
all of us will leave, and then Jesse's wife will come in and hit him super hard in the head with the, and he's already
run away from the chat. Even he's not even in chat anymore. So, all right, well,
it's fun to see when Comedy Shaman leaves the participants list, who joins the participant list. Comedy Shaman, that's fun to watch.
Who joined? Anybody interested?
I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Laughter Sherpa.
We'll talk later.
Laughter Sherpa.
Laughter Sherpa.
That's also a better name than Comedy Sheman. Yeah, Comedy Sheman, you're kind of fucking transparent. But anyway, thank you for giving me 30 minutes of, well, it was less than 30 minutes, but of content here to wrap up on. That was fun. I've enjoyed it. I haven't been able to talk She-Man in a while on the show, and I'll never be able to do it again because, again, he'll never do a stream again. So I'm going to make this promise to you guys. She-Man, we're doing this for fun because this is the first stream back in a bit. She-Man doesn't get to come in and take, next time, he's going to attempt this again. And he needs this. He needed this moment to try to build up his courage to do a show again. He gets no help in the future. So next time he shows up, we just ignore and we keep moving on. We got other shows to do. These are supposed to be some shorter episodes too, but I'm having fun. I hope you guys had fun. This is a fun episode. Tom, thanks for joining us here right at the end as well.
Anytime, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, how about during your show every night of the week?
At the very end when the phone lines are open, sure.
No, I'm more at the beginning. I'm sort of your lead-in. It's Pod Awful, then the Tom Gully Show. Then
we do the crosstalk.
I'm the Tonight Show. You're late night.
Caller Tom.
I could be the David Letterman late night, or I'd probably more the Tom Snyder tomorrow show.
Yeah, it really is more like that, to be honest. Yeah. Wait, then who is my Tonight Show? Comedy She-Man when he finally comes back. All right, everybody, that's it. Thank you. And until next time, have an awful day. See ya.